future.
Welcome to another episode of TAAP. I'm Chad.
I'm Michael.
And we're going to do some more peering into how our minds work. Some more, what would you do?
What would you do? And I got a good one for you.
All right, well, you know what? We've done a few of these before, so most people know the concept. We come up with situations, put each other in it, expand on them a little bit, twist them a little bit, play with them a little bit, just change the situation sometimes.
It's like Play-Doh to us.
It is. And if any of you have a situation that you think would be good for this, put it in the comments, send it to us. We're looking for your ideas. We'll do the same with that.
Yep.
It's your turn to go first. So
okay.
What's your idea?
This I hope we're gonna see how this goes.
I'd shoot him. Don't even tell me what it is. I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay. You might.
End of story.
You might. You have a situation where, let's say it doesn't matter where your residence. It could be an apartment. It could be anywhere.
Okay.
New neighbors move in. They're there for a short period of time. Yeah, I see.
I hate new neighbors.
I know. Next thing you know, you hear some kind of domestic disturbance going on over there. You just happen to be coming home as it was going on. Their doors open, and you could hear one of them yelling, "No, stop, stop, please stop." What do you do?
Hit her again! No, can I see them through the door? Or can I just hear them?
Let's say you could see them, and the guys, we're going to put the guy in, sorry guys. The guy's on the back and his hands up like this. This is where shot placement matters.
Yeah. This is tough because in a situation like this, as much as I would want to just grab my phone and call 911, it looks like it is not just a domestic situation where there's yelling back and forth, it's a violent domestic situation. Right. I'm probably going to cautiously approach their door and yell at him something to the effect of, "You need to stop and calm down, step this way."
Okay.
And see what he does.
Okay. What if he says, "Fuck you," and just starts, and you see that hand come down?
So at this point, it's still not a deadly situation because it's still his hand.
Right.
I will probably make that command again, as at this point I may be potentially entering their house.
Okay.
If he doesn't stop, then odds are I'm probably going to end up having to go hands-on.
Okay.
You know,
so you would physically stop him from...
By the time I get to there, if I can see that he is physically assaulting her, yes.
Well, you haven't seen her yet. All you see is his back, and you see him hitting.
I'm assuming once I get into the house, I can see more of the surroundings. Things aren't blocked off from angles. And,
right.
And I can see her cowering on the ground or whatever. And
yep, she's cowering on the ground.
Yeah, she's cowering on the ground, and he's swinging and hitting her.
He's swinging and hitting the kid on the table.
Okay. So you didn't give me that part as I walked in.
You didn't see that yet.
Well, as I walk in, I'm going to see
now
that.
Now that you walked in and you got a better visual now. Oh, okay, so see, Mikey's over. You can't see Mikey's face, but Mikey's like, "You son of a bitch."
Okay, so let's rewind this a little bit. If I walk in and it's his wife or a child that he has down on the ground and he's just going to town wailing,
yeah,
I'm probably getting hands-on.
Right.
Now, if he's got the child bent over the table and giving him a swat on the ass, corporal punishment is frowned on at this point in society. Do I think it should? Maybe not necessarily all the time. There's a lot of things that are going to come into play.
Right.
You know, one is, how hard is he hitting the child on the butt? Because there's a difference between, you know, swinging back and making it sound like it's going to be a big thing, and then just doing a little tap to scare them. and actually, I'm going to try and pound your ass through the table.
See, at that point, the ass whooping doesn't matter if the other part of that is saying no, don't stop. Because
are they saying no, don't stop, or are they saying no, don't stop?
Obviously, she's saying that activity needs to end.
Okay. Because it could be some kink there. In which case, I might want to know those neighbors.
Right.
So, no, that's one of those things where if it is a child and they are, just giving them a regular swat on the ass, not something where it's like I'm going to try and leave handprints.
Right.
I might say, okay, I think I've had enough. Also, who's saying no, don't, and stop? Is it the child? Is it the spouse? Is it
the spouse? Okay. The spouse is saying it. The kid's crying.
Okay. If the spouse is saying it and the kid's crying, at that point I may interject.
Okay.
If it's something where I have to interject physically, I probably would cross that line just because I've got a violent situation, even if it's just giving a kid a swat on the butt a couple of times.
Right.
It's still technically a violent situation. There is another adult there that has obviously determined this is a bad situation.
Right.
I don't know if that is been drinking, if he has an anger problem.
Right.
What it is, but obviously there's someone there that, unless in my interactions with this new neighborhood, she's given me reason to believe that she is completely irrational, I'm probably going to think something is off here a little bit, and this at least needs to get settled down.
See, that's where I was going to go, and I know that's why I like these scenarios. What if this is the 15th time that they've had this domestic violence, and there wasn't a kid, it was just him and her? And this is like the 15th time, and you've seen her screaming at him when he's leaving work. Does that change what you do? Do you just, at that point, do you say, hit her hard enough in the jaw to keep her quiet, I guess?
Break her fucking jaw so I can sleep in the morning, damn it.
Right? I mean, or do you just say, you know what, I'm going to call the police. Do you go hands-on? Do you try to stop it? Or...
anytime that there is a situation where violence has already been enacted, I'm probably more apt to go hands-on than most people, I think.
Right.
And that just comes to my fucking sheepdog mentality.
Yep.
You like doing these to me, don't you?
I do.
Even if I've seen a couple mornings where he's leaving for work and she's coming out in her house coat, yeah, well, fuck you too. Don't come back.
Yeah.
That might play into it a little bit, but you know what? If you really meant that, then you'd probably not let him come back.
Right.
You'd probably, after he left, you'd probably go get a restraining order or something, so at least you had some standing for him not to come back.
Right.
Not that a restraining order is going to actually keep him from coming back if he wants to, but no, I think this is one that there's so many nuances to the situation. It's hard to say exactly what you would do. I mean, if he's got the belt out and he's beating the kid's ass with the belt, yeah, then I'm definitely going hands-on.
Okay.
If he's just giving him, doing the, I'm going to beat your ass, and then he starts to make that hard swing and then slows it down at the end and just gives a little bop, that's, okay. You put some fear of God into the kid.
Yeah, I think when it comes to actually the physical, I'm all for stopping it. Mm-hmm. I like that. But I think when it comes to if it's just an argument or I think I'm always, well, do you call the police? Do you this and that? I don't know. I don't know. I on those situations, I've been around enough of them to know that generally it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
So
and even if it's not intended by the other party, when you're in a relationship long enough, you know what buttons to push to get a reaction.
Yeah. And you push those buttons. When you get mad, you push those buttons. And you have both those parties pushing buttons.
Yep. So let me take your scenario and turn it on its head a little bit for you.
Okay.
And by turn it on its head a little bit, I mean I'm going to turn it way the fuck on its head.
Okay.
So same situation, you get home and You know, your neighbor that's been living there for a month or two. Door happens to be open, and you're hearing, "No, don't stop! No, please don't stop!" And you walk in, and it's not his hand up like he's slapping the other person, but there seems to be some sort of physical altercation going on there.
So I don't think that I would enter a physical situation
you wouldn't breach
like
the
that.
threshold.
I don't think I'll breach that threshold. Unless I see... Now, I might go right up there and say, "Hey, I'm calling the police." And I'm going to call the police.
So let's say you walk up to the doorway, and the way that their house is set up, you can see that he's got her over the couch, and he seems to be treating her very roughly, very, very hands-on, shaking her, you know, maybe a hand around her throat.
Do you need help? Undo my belt? I don't know. I mean, I would probably say, "Hey, you guys are being really loud. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to call the police." And I'm hoping to get some kind of reaction.
And I think at
them.
that point, either you're probably going to get one of two things. Either him telling you to go fuck yourself.
Right.
Or
her asking to join.
Yeah. Or her saying, "We're just role playing."
Right.
It was rough night.
Yeah, I like it rough. All right.
Well, maybe shut the door before you do that.
Right. You know, maybe the volume, or, you know, turn up the stereo. That way you could use that to drown out the play.
But I think that could be because people got their kinks.
And here's the thing. That scenario could very, very well happen in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Because they need a role play. They're trying to
or
spice
it's a
up
swinger party, or
spice up their marriage, whatever.
Could be. I've seen stories on all sorts of crazy stuff, and there is a hotel here in Omaha. I don't know if they still do it, but once a year they still had the big swingers ball.
They do.
And,
I heard about that.
I've talked to some of those people, and there's a reason why they don't let the elevators go to the floors that they rent out when they have those.
Right.
Because they do crazy stuff like the husband gets tied up and put in the corner while the wife has fun with the bull, and so you could walk by and they do this with the door open because they don't care. You could walk by and see that.
Well, that's part of they do it with the door open because it's that they want people to see it,
right? And
it's that whole erotica kind of deal. So,
right. But if you happen to walk by that, you happen to end up on that floor, and you walk by that and you see that and you see, oh, there's a guy tied up and he's gagged and he's cowering in the corner, and you can hear his wife screaming, and you see another set of legs there. That could easily be something you could think, this is a bad situation. Yeah. No, they're just having fun because they got a crazy kink. Yeah, so you have to know what situation you're in, because the last thing you want to do is ruin their party and blow their dick off. I mean, you don't want to shoot them in the dick.
Yeah. And they don't want to be shot in the dick at that point either.
I sure as hell don't want to be shot in the dick.
No. Not enjoyable to me. No. Now, if you're a pedophile,
I'll shoot you in the dick all day long.
Enjoy your kink, but all right.
All right, so...
Well, that's mine. What's yours?
So here's mine. You're in your car. And this is something that might be fairly relatable to you, because part of it happened here fairly recently.
And I'm in my car quite a bit.
Yes, you are. Get into an accident.
Yep.
Pretty obvious that it was the other party's fault.
Okay.
You had a solid green light. They ran a red. Something like that.
He's pulling details here.
and here's where we kind of get into that. Your mind plays tricks on you, and eyewitness testimony isn't the best testimony necessarily, because I've seen cases where this has happened, and the person that ran the red light swore it was green.
Right.
They get out of their car and begin yelling at you.
Oh, okay.
Person that gets out of their car is a large male.
Okay.
And by large, I don't mean overly fat. I mean that they've spent more than a couple days in the gym.
Okay.
And probably their body mass is more than a little bit synthetic as far as how they got it.
Okay.
They start yelling at you, cursing at you, what the fuck were you doing? You should be watching where you're going. Get the fuck out of the car.
Okay.
What do you do?
Get out and start taking off my clothes. Nobody wants to fight a fat, naked guy.
And then you get arrested for indecent exposure.
Oh,
but hey, at least you weren't in a fight.
Yeah, avoided a fight.
Although maybe that's.
I don't care how.
Hey, maybe his kink is fat naked guys. then you're in trouble.
How you doing? No, if he's yelling, I at that point I would say, I'm already calling the police. The police will figure it out.
He says, "Give me your information. I want to see your insurance and everything else. I'm gonna go get mine."
I would start getting all my insurance out.
So he goes back to his vehicle, and instead of coming back with paperwork, he comes back with a tire iron and continues yelling at you and starts beating your car with it.
No. First and foremost, the minute he starts approaching me with a weapon and aggressive is the minute I'm...
Well, and let's kind of build the situation. Your car is here, his car is here, so the driver's door is right here. He literally just turns around, reaches and grabs a tire iron, turns around and whack on your car.
At that point, I would probably draw and I would move back away from my vehicle.
So you'd exit your vehicle and...
I would exit my vehicle. I cautious people exiting their vehicle, but I don't want to be stuck and trapped.
Mm-hmm.
So my first thing is I need to put some distance between me and this guy.
And you can do it right. You can use that vehicle as a barrier between the two.
Correct. Now, the reason I'm going to get out is, especially if I've just been in an accident, now I need to make sure that I can open my door. Mm-hmm. I need to make sure I can get out of this vehicle, because if he's starting to hit something and there's gas and that tire iron makes a spark creates flame, I could be trapped in a burning car. So my first thought on a situation like this would be, I need to get away, and I'm going to try and be opening my door so I could get some distance.
And this is late evening, so it's not like there's a lot of traffic around.
Yeah, so I would probably start to put my distance in there, and now that I'm out, I would start yelling, "Someone call the police. We need help. Someone call." That's where I'm going to get loud and vocal again, so I catch any of the witnesses, anybody walking down the street, anybody. Hey, yeah, there's a guy yelling, he needs the police. There was just an accident. He's screaming, and there's a guy beating on his car with the tire iron. Well, that's the call that's going to come through, because that's what they're saying. And the one guy's getting out of the car, backing up with a gun.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want. I want that. I want that call.
You want that car that happens to drive by and see something's going on there.
Right. Because if let's turn this in. Let's say he sees me and he comes at me with a tire and I have to shoot him. Well, they're going to play that 911 tape, and the 911 officers, what's the guy with the gun doing? He's backing away.
Mm-hmm.
You're
not posing a threat.
Correct.
You are, because you have a gun, but
he had a tire iron. We're moving away.
You're the one trying to de-escalate the situation by backing away.
Correct.
While still protecting yourself.
That's good evidence to have.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can't be the aggressor and claim self-defense.
Correct.
So let's back this up to the accident just happened.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw a wrinkle in here.
Okay. We love that.
In the car with you is one of my girls. Let's just say you guys were all over at my house, and you said, "Hey, I'm going to go run and pick up pizza," and one of my daughters says, "Okay, I'll go with you."
Okay.
So now he gets out. She's in the passenger seat, so she's right there by where he gets out, as he gets out and starts screaming and punching the window.
I'm going to yell at her to get in the back seat. I'm going to try and get her away from there. And then when she's there, I will probably tell her, "You need to cover your ears." And I would be out there, because if he's with a tire iron...
Well, it doesn't have a tire iron. He just gets out and he starts yelling at you and decides that rage is going to take over, and he starts punching the window.
I think once you're starting to physically punch a glass window... You're going to break your hand. The window's going to break, or you're going to break.
Mm-hmm.
And you described this as a big boy.
Right.
And if he's roided up, that window...
He might break his hand, but he might not realize it.
Both the window and his hand may get broken. And that could make him even more angry.
Right.
That's where, again, this is where that whole reasonable person, you know, I'm hoping that I get a good couple pictures of him being jacked. And I'll make sure that I look as small and as intimidating as possible, because you got to do what you got to do in court. Okay. I don't know. I think that's the point where I would be like, back off. You need to go through. And I'm not going to shoot to break my own window, but once that window breaks and he's broken that threshold, that's a different story.
If he's punching your window like that, you can pretty much assume once the window breaks, he's probably reaching in it.
There's going to be a lot of warnings. Back away, get away, wait for the cops, stop. There's going to be so many times I'm going to say that if you continue, then I'll shoot your dick off. No, I'm sure you couldn't find it on that guy. They're roided out.
Yeah.
You know.
Itty bitty nuts.
Yep. You're best shooting a nipple. They're bigger than his balls at that point.
So I'm gonna agree with you on pretty much all of those. Once he gets the tire iron out, I'm not staying in my car just if for no other reason. I don't want to get trapped in my car if he decides that he's going to come around it.
Right.
I'm going to use that as a barrier and give me multiple exit points. One, I'm backing away from the situation.
Right.
I'm definitely going to draw on him because he has a weapon.
Right.
He's going to get solid commands of drop the weapon and back up.
Yep. I want to keep him in eyesight, so I don't want him to disappear in my blind spot on the vehicle. Vehicles have blind spots. So
and I've got a truck that if he's going around, I can lose him in those blind spots. That's where I'm going to be cognizant. If he tries to go down the passenger side of my vehicle, I'm probably going down the driver's side of my vehicle and backing off to cut him off so that he can't come around and blindside me.
There's so you're gonna exit the vehicle as well.
Right. But no, I'm saying instead of going around the front of the vehicle and losing where he is, I'm going to back up and wheel towards that direction that he's going, so I can keep him in focus.
So if he has to come out of something, so I have distance there.
Yeah, and if he decides to charge me from around the vehicle, well, he just made it a deadly situation.
Right. And then unfortunately, and we talk about this on a lot of vehicle videos. You're going to see that in some of the reaction videos that we've said the same thing. We don't want to do this. Last thing I want to do is shoot someone. Right. But if you're hell bent on making me do that, I'm your huckleberry.
Yep.
I don't want to be, but if you put me in that situation, just like these people like to put police officers in this situation, I'm sorry, but my life is more valuable in that situation than yours is. If you don't like it, I don't care.
Right.
But I also don't think my life is more important than other people's either, which is why I don't go and do stupid shit like that.
I think my life's more important than some people.
I'm not.
The predators.
Well, but they take care of themselves.
Yeah, they shoot themselves in the dick.
They shoot themselves in the dick and take themselves out of the gene pool.
So, no, to me, once he brings a weapon or starts physically assaulting my vehicle, because to me, if you're punching the window, you're obviously trying to get in and get to me. Now, most modern cars, once you put it in drive and move beyond 3 miles an hour, they automatically lock. So he's not going to open up the door and get to me.
That's not true. I think in a lot of car accidents, when you're in a car accident, I think some vehicles actually auto unlock the car doors.
That's good to know, because if he did that, then we've got a whole nother situation going on.
Yeah, and this is also I have an issue with cars, and I know I talk about cars a lot on things too. I have an issue with cars if like a single mom is walking out to her car and she hits the unlock button, it unlocks all the car doors now.
Right.
I don't like that.
No, I don't either.
So I like it when you're in a car accident and unlocks the doors. So
if rescue needs to get in, they don't. Right. It's easier for them to get in.
Right, and I think most of the cars now that are built with some type of OnStar or whatever. Whatever that company is using. I think OnStar is one of the most prominent for that. But everyone has one of those systems now that when you're in a car accident, it'll automatically call 911 for you, which I think is great.
Right.
Good thing to do.
Yes. And in that situation, kind of go to the different situation where Yeah, I've got my daughter in the vehicle, or Mikey's in the vehicle with me. Yeah, that changed a little bit because it puts that other person
does Mikey
closer.
really change a lot?
No, not really. Hit him! He needs it.
I mean, he could use him as a body shield, I guess, and just say
the little bit of him that there is.
Right.
He's wiry.
Right, he is wiry.
At least then I'd be like, well, they gotta get to Mikey before they get to me. And,
right. No, we joke.
Yes.
We.
But no, once they became violent and started hitting the vehicle, whether they had a tire in or were just using their fist, especially if I have someone in that passenger seat, I'm gonna do pretty much the same thing that you did. Get in the back and over on my side, call 911.
Yep.
At that point, I'm gonna exit the vehicle and most likely draw on them and give them commands to calm the fuck down and sit their ass down.
So let me change this a little bit to you.
Okay.
What if the guy that got out, he was a passenger in this car and he was the one that's throwing a fit? Now, he doesn't get any physical with you, but you can tell he's throwing a fit, and then he turns to the driver, his girlfriend, wife, and starts to throw a fit and a tirade on her. So I'm triggering the sheepdog.
Right. So at that point, and probably shortly after he got out, I'd probably open up my door and I'd step out and calmly, in a de-escalating fashion, just calm down. It was just an accident. It looks like everyone's okay. Nothing to get so upset about.
So if he's still throwing a fit, like he's just pissed off. He's not hitting anything, but you can tell his hands are balled up like this. He's saying, "I'm gonna fucking kill this," and just throwing a fucking tantrum.
I would probably continue to try to verbally de-escalate.
So I'd stop talking to him at that point.
I'd at least try another 1 or 2 times to verbally de-escalate. If he continues to throw a tantrum, okay, you're gonna be a 2-year-old, fine.
See, I have less tolerance. I'm like, all right, just stand there and throw a fit. I don't care. Because I don't want to say. My problem is I don't want to even. I guess that's where, and I have that issue with everything. When things start to happen like that and it starts to unravel, I stop talking. Because I'm trying not to make the situation worse. I'm like, if I say something and snap, this guy's off. I try to avoid that.
So let's take your situation. We're running long on time here, so we'll make this as quick as possible. But let's take your situation and turn it up a notch or 2.
Okay.
So he's outside screaming, and you're like, I can't believe that fucking bitch didn't watch where she was going. And you hear her say something to him like, I'm sorry, I didn't see the light, or whatever. Something to try and calm him down and apologize. And he says, you stupid fucking whore, you shouldn't have done it. And he reaches in the car and grabs her by the hair and starts pulling on her.
This is where I think this is where we're both on the same page, because now it got to a physical thing, and now it was. You could say whatever the hell you want as long as you don't put hands on something.
Right.
At this point, I think I would try to stop that.
So what would you do to try and stop? Would you hands on? Would you draw and give commands? Would you?
I would probably say, I'm already calling the police and you're going to catch a charge. I'm going to probably threaten to do that. And if he doesn't want to stop, it's not right to do. Don't do what I'm about to say. But I'd probably say, why don't you be a man and come over here and get the attention off of her.
Okay.
And if he turns to me and he's starting to come out to me, I'm like, now I don't have the muscles, but I got something a little stronger than a muscle.
But I got Smith & Wesson.
Yeah. Your arms are 48 inches arm, but I got a 45 LC. That's, I think I don't want to see anybody get hurt. So if it's someone physically getting ready to get hurt, I think that's where we both will, without hesitation, jump in there. I think our lines right up until that point mine's a little further back than yours.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I think I do pretty similar. I think I would verbally command him to stop and let go of her, step away from the vehicle.
Yep.
If he didn't listen,
throw a rock at him.
I would probably command again, and depending on how physical he was getting with her, that's the point where I may draw and get his attention and tell him, look, you let go or I will drop you like a motherfucking bad habit.
Yep.
Because if you're a big guy that's roided out, it doesn't take much for you to grab her head and start slamming it into the steering wheel or the dashboard or start punching her. Am I going to drop him? Quite possibly not. But I'm going to give him something. I'm going to give him something to think about.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can totally see drop it. Stop or I'm going to drop you faster than you drop steroids, bitch.
and
I don't know. Maybe that's it. Stop or I'm going to shoot you in your penis. Oh, okay, I'll stop. I like that.
No, and it may be something where I'm giving him enough distraction as I'm moving to get a better, because
maybe she can get away too.
Well, maybe she can get away. The other problem is she may be somewhat in my line of sight there. So I'm going to move, and it may come to the point where I've got a chance to just come up behind him and whack him in the back of the head with it rather than shoot him.
I would say if he turns into my direction, I'm going to yell at her, "Get away!"
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing: I'm going to yell, "Get away!" And if you sit there and take it, I've done my part.
Yeah.
I did my part. I did everything for you. Sometimes you have to take your own initiative.
Right.
And yeah.
Okay, so one more thing, because I just thought of this, and this will really fuck that situation.
Okay.
So he reaches in and grabs her and starts shaking her around, screaming at her.
Okay.
You yell at him to stop. In the meantime, she reaches into her bag and does this a couple of times to him. And you hear him scream, and you see maybe a little splatter of blood or something as she does that.
Okay. So this is a good example. This is really good, because this is a good learning experience. Because most accidents with firearms happen when you're trying to reholster. So make sure when you're reholstering your firearm, you're watching what you're doing here and making sure you're not going to shoot yourself.
Mm-hmm.
She took care of her own problem. I'm holstering.
Yeah.
Good job. Gun safety.
Yeah. And I may tell her, okay, that's enough, because she may keep sticking him, but at that point, I am probably going to end up being a witness for her, because she was being assaulted and had to defend herself.
If he was the aggressor and she ended up stabbing him, and here I gotta, and what I'm gonna see, and she just keeps going and she just keeps going. I'm telling you, there's a lot of pent up rage if she keeps going.
Stop! Don't stab him anymore. Stop! Don't stab him anymore.
You should
do it. Don't keep stabbing him.
Yeah.
You should stop. He's had enough.
Yeah, that's enough, dear. It's okay. You're safe. I don't think I there comes a point where if that was her breaking point,
mm-hmm.
You know what?
If it gets to that point, and he's acting like this, probably been an abusive relationship for a while.
Yep.
And she's probably said, "Okay, I'm done. No more."
Am I going to stop that physically? No, I don't.
Get the popcorn.
Yeah, I
stab him in the dick. Stab him in the dick.
I got a gun. You can shoot him in the penis now. I don't know.
It's a long running joke. You gotta go back and watch previous episodes.
If you don't know the shoot him in the penis joke by now, you haven't watched enough of our episodes. I suggest you
in particular.
You go like, subscribe.
Yes, like, subscribe, leave a comment.
Don't shoot our episodes in the penis.
No. We're running a little bit long here, so...
That's what she said.
Well, not if you're shouting the dick. You blew my dick off.
Alright.
I guess that maybe could be good if she blew your dick off. I mean, depends on what we're talking about there, but all right. So now, if you do have any situations like this that you'd like to see us discuss and twist on its head and throw different variables into, by all means, send them to us. Any parting comments, Michael?
When the lady snaps,
Get away.
back away.
Yes. Hell hath no fury like woman scorned.
And I don't want a part of that.
No.
All right.
All right.
Good
Well,
show.
everyone, have a great time. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you next time.
This concludes our broadcasting day.